So, what happened? What time did you guys go to bed last night?
Well, the kids go to bed at 9.
Okay.
And...
Did it kill him? Or did you take it back home with you?
No, I left it.
You left it? Is it the Ohio River? Is that what we're talking about, or where?
It's between Indiana and Kentucky.
Okay.
He's blind.
February 28, 2021. On this Sunday morning, a 29-year-old woman and her boyfriend walked into the Middletown, Ohio Police Department to report a missing child. That woman is Brittany Gosney, the same woman sitting across from the detective and who had just been charged with the murder of her 6-year-old son, James.
And the boy's hurt, then I need to know that kind of stuff. If you're protecting James, your boyfriend, from something he may have done accidentally, then I need to know that. I'm going to ask you to take a polygraph exam. Do you know what that is? It's a lie detector test. Okay? And because there's something going on here. Something's not right here. I've done this, like I said, I've interviewed hundreds of people over my career, and, you know, people get scared, they get themselves backed into a corner, and they don't know what to do. And my job is to help them through that, because sometimes it is what it is. It's an act, something happened, and parents freak out and, you know, don't know what to do, okay? So my job is I'm going to go talk to James here in a few minutes, and I'm sure he's going to tell me a little bit different story, okay? Because that's what I get. That's what I find when people aren't telling me the whole truth about everything. You can help yourself out tremendously if you know anything about anything that happened, because if I prove otherwise, that you didn't tell me the whole truth, then that doesn't look good for you, okay? That's not going to be good. If you're forthcoming with me now, I can deal with whatever happens.
Her boyfriend is 43-year-old James Hamilton. He is in another room of this same building, being asked the same questions. They will never speak to each other again, and neither of them knows what the other is saying. James Robert Hutchinson is 6 years old, a first grader at Rosa Parks Elementary in Middletown, Ohio. At school, he is the boy who hugs his teachers, all of them, every morning on his way through the door. His principal will remember him as a happy and joyful soul who loved school. On the last Friday of February 2021, his seat is empty. For context, let's back up a year ago. It is 2020, and Brittany is married to James's father, Lewis Hutchinson. She stocks shelves at Family Dollar for a while, rings up groceries at Kroger, and by this winter she has neither job. The whole family moved in with her sister-in-law, Priscilla. It is at Priscilla's house that Brittany starts seeing her husband, James Hamilton. The affair ends both marriages in everything but paperwork. Brittany and Hamilton leave together, motels, then rentals, then 1 week before this morning, the house on Crawford Street. Lewis keeps asking to take the kids. Brittany keeps saying yes, and then, when he comes for them, no. Brittany herself was 12 when Children's Services took her from her father's house. She grew up in foster and group homes until she aged out at 18. At 29, she was a mother of 4. Court evaluation later shows she gave birth to her first child at age 12 and was sexually abused. Fast forward to today, February 28, 2021. Brittany Gosney and James Hamilton are here in the Middletown Police Department to report James missing from his bed. Their stories don't match, and within minutes, detectives split them into separate rooms. She doesn't know it yet, but nobody here believes the walk-in story. And down the hall, in Hoover's own words, Hamilton is coming off this slowly. A polygraph examiner is on his way.
No. All right, cool. All right, bud. All right, what's your name, hon?
Brittany.
Brittany? I spell it right?
A-N-Y. Is that A-N-Y at the end?
It is now. Alright. What's your last name?
Gosney, Gosney.
What's your date of birth?
2/5/92.
Alright, so, tell me what's going on. What happened here? I'm Detective Hoover, okay? They called me and my partner out for anything to do with children, missing children, children that have been abused, whatever. That's what me and one other guy do here at the PD, okay? So, this is real important, this part, is you have to be 100% honest with me with everything, okay? Because we don't have this, we're missing a 6-year-old little boy, and we're trying to figure out where he's at. I got to make sure he's safe, okay? So, you know, your cooperation goes a long, long way, okay? But you have to be honest with me with everything, no matter what the circumstances are, okay? So, you can remove your mask if you would, if you don't care. Do you care to take off your mask? Okay.
As long as you don't have COVID.
I don't. Do you?
No.
Then we're good. Okay. So, what happened? What time did you guys go to bed last night?
Well, the kids go to bed at 9.
Okay.
And we normally go to bed at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I knew, I told them all it was 9 o'clock, time for bed.
Mm-hmm.
So they all went upstairs to their rooms, and I went upstairs a little bit later to see if they were asleep.
Sure.
And they were all asleep. So then that's when I came down, waited a couple minutes just to see if they might have come downstairs or something, and then I went to bed.
Okay. What time did you get up this morning?
He woke me up at 8.
He woke you up at 8. Did he wake you up any time before that to say that James was missing?
Not that I remember. He said he tried to wake me up several times, but
you don't
I'm on
remember?
medicine, so
What kind of medicine do you take?
I take anxiety meds.
Okay. I do too. So, what's it called? What do you take?
Hydroxyzine 3 times a day, and then I take this blue pill. I don't know what the blue pill's called.
Okay.
At nighttime.
This is where I need you to be honest with me. It is what it is, okay? Do you use any other type of narcotics, drugs, illegal drugs, or anything? Do you smoke weed? Do you,
No.
Okay. You don't use heroin? You don't use,
No, I've had family members that
meth,
passed away from
anything?
that stuff, and
Okay. Do you
that
know,
pushes me away. So.
do you know if your boyfriend does? Does he use any type of dope at all? Not that you know of. Well, you would know more than anybody. That's what I'm asking. You're not going to get him in any trouble. I just need to know if you're being honest with me. That's what I'm trying to feel you
I
out.
mean, I've never seen it. I mean, we smoke cigarettes.
I'm not talking about that. I said drugs, illegal drugs. Of course. A lot of people smoke cigarettes. A lot of people smoke weed. A lot of people use
I mean,
heroin.
he smokes weed, but that's the only thing I know of.
Okay, that's all
I
I'm
don't know if
asking.
he does anything else.
Okay, you don't need to protect him. I'm getting a feel for you, if you're going to be honest. I just need you to be honest with me, honest. Don't overread into any of my questions, okay? I promise you. So he wakes you up at 8 and tells you what? Or do you wake up on your own at 8, or does he wake you up at 8?
Well, he woke me up, and because he went looking around first, he said he had come in there several times before to try to wake me up, and he said I didn't respond to any time, so he just went outside and looked around, went through all the rooms, the closets, and all that, and he couldn't find him anywhere. So then the next thing he thought to do was just go around a couple blocks, see if he might be close by.
Did he walk there, or did he drive there, or what did he do for that part?
He drove around.
Okay.
But he came back and woke me up, and he was like, "You know James is gone?" I was like, "What?" And I was like, "No, I thought he was upstairs asleep." And I even woke up the brother and sister, maybe thinking they might have seen him up, about, moving around or something, and they said they didn't hear nothing, they didn't see him.
So So the baby's name is James Hutchinson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's his date of birth?
6/30/14. He's a baby, so
Right.
I'm kind of worried about him.
Well, sure. Yeah, I'll be more than time to, huh? So tell me what kind of kid he is.
He has ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
He struggles real bad in school. He struggles to pay attention. Otherwise than that, like in school and stuff, they said he's good in school. He tries to focus.
He's physically healthy, no
Yeah.
health issues.
No.
Oh, great. Good. Good boy at home?
Yeah.
Pretty good boy. How do you guys discipline him when he does?
Stand him in the corner.
I spank my kids. My kids are grown now, but I did spank my kids. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you spank them? Do you just ground them? Do you take stuff from them?
Well, my son with the red hair, Lucas, he likes playing like video games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the baby doesn't really know how to work the controller and stuff. He tried, but we just make him stand in a corner just for like a little bit to make him know that you ain't supposed to do that.
Is James in school yet?
Yes, he's in first grade.
He's in first grade. Where does he go to school?
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. Okay. When's the last time he was in school?
Well, it's every Monday and Tuesday, so he was in school last Tuesday.
Okay. So he goes 2 days a week, Mondays and Tuesdays, down at Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're saying other than that, he's a pretty good kid. As far as like behaviorally, he's a 6-year-old, so I know 6-year-olds.
He has his little fits here and there, tissue tantrums. I just overlook it.
Right.
Because, that's the only thing you can do. Because, the other ones have the same thing, or they like to throw themselves down to the floor,
right,
or stomping, or something like that. But other than that, he's a pretty good kid.
What's his address on there?
50.
And how long have you guys lived there?
We just moved in there.
You just, yesterday, a week ago? 2 weeks?
The beginning of the month.
The beginning of the month, okay. So, beginning of February?
Yes.
So, about 4 weeks, 4
Yeah.
weeks-ish. Okay. In the room that James sleeps in, there's a pillow in there, and there's some scratches on the floor. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. It looks like made with a toy, maybe, or something like that.
The kids play upstairs in the room.
Have you ever noticed those scratches before? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? You do not?
No, it
Okay.
could have been there when we moved in.
Yeah, sure. I didn't know if you paid attention to that.
I didn't really look at the floors.
Okay. Do you have mattresses for the kids or anything like that?
We've been trying to get some.
Okay.
I've been calling around asking for furniture vouchers, and everywhere around here is not helping with that right now.
Right. Where do you work at?
I don't work. I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Okay, and where does James work at?
With the landlord.
So he does odd jobs like that, like cleaning up stuff, or?
He does electric.
Oh, okay, good. That's a good trade to have.
So.
Really good trade to have. You can make some money in that.
Yeah, he's trying to work on getting his the degree or whatever.
Certificate of it, yeah.
And so he could actually start doing actual work, like major work, so he can get more paid.
Right. What time did James say that he first noticed James missing, the 6-year-old missing?
Well, I don't know what time he exactly got up, but he every day he gets up around 4, anywhere from 4 to 5, maybe sometimes a little later. But other than that, because he's used to early morning work, I normally sleep in until about 8, or later. I know just a couple days ago I slept till 12.
Right. Has James ever been missing before?
He was missing once before.
How long ago was that?
I want to say it was the first of the month, but it could have been later than that. But I know it was sometime this month.
From that house?
Yes.
So he was missing once before from that house, and how long was he gone for?
I don't know when he was outside, but he found him at the how there's basement stairs? Well, he found him at the bottom of the basement stairs. I don't know what he was doing, but...
Is there only one way to get into your basement?
Yeah.
That's from the outside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it a big door that you have to pull open, or what is it?
Well, you'd have to have a key to get in there, so...
So you start locking it after that?
Yes. That's probably why he didn't try that route.
Right. So how long do you think he was gone then? That you just get a few minutes, or an hour?
I honestly don't have a clue.
Okay. And where did you meet James at Hamilton?
At his ex-wife's house.
How'd that turn out?
Well, I was with somebody else at the time, and basically we were homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known him for several years.
You've known James for 7 years?
Several.
Okay.
And I figured since we was homeless, call him up, see, hey, can we move in till we find something else, get situated or whatever. And he said, yeah, that's fine, we'll come get you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So he came, got us, and we lived there for, I want to say like 2 or 3 months or later, more. And then husband and wife had a big argument, and they had a big argument or whatever, and he found out she was cheating on him, and a whole bunch of crazy nonsense. I didn't want to get involved. I was like, okay. So I try to stay out of their business.
Mm-hmm.
But
how long have you guys been romantically involved?
For almost a year.
For almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just moved in together for the first time? Or were you living
once they started arguing and all that, neither one of us had a place to live.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the hotel in Dayton.
Mm-hmm.
Because we was trying to find cheap hotels we can afford.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the cheapest one we could find. So we just went and got a motel until we was able to save up enough money to get our own place, and we were just now able to get our own place.
Okay. Now, did you guys live next door there for a while?
No, him and his ex-wife
lived there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys were staying in hotels here and there, and then finally got this place last month, or beginning of February. I got you. All right. You only have the 3 children?
Yes.
Okay. Are you in love with James? Okay. All right. How does James discipline the children?
Same thing I do, make them stand in the corner for a couple minutes.
All right. Where do you think your child is now? Any idea?
I have no idea.
Okay. And he's 6. And his date of birth was in June. So he'll be 7 here in June. I got you.
Yeah, the middle sons, they're both like a year, well, a month and some of my days and a year apart.
Let me get the other 2 children's names.
And they have both of them have the same last name as me.
The 7?
Yes.
What's his date of birth?
7/21/13.
And the girl? That's my little girl's name. And she's how old?
She's getting ready to be 10 in October.
So she's 9. What's her date of birth?
10/19/2011. And they all go to the same school.
Rosa Parks?
They're not really liking this COVID stuff and having to do their work on the computer. They're used to their teacher trying to help them out. I try my best to help them out, but anytime I have a question about their work, I try to contact the teacher when I think they're not busy, because they keep changing the days of they go by the initials of your last names. So, mine goes Monday and Tuesday, and then the other kids that have different last names they used to go Thursday and Friday, now they put it to Wednesday, Thursday.
So everybody gets 3-day weekend?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we have they normally have remote learning on Wednesday, and now they just switched it up to Friday. So.
Okay. All right. So I've been a policeman for 27 years. I've been assigned to detectives about 10 years. I've interviewed a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds of people over my career.
I was just watching on the news for like last month of them trying to look for this little boy.
Well, I'll find him. Okay. I'm really good at my job, so I'm going to find your boy. Okay. And my partner's really good at his job, so that's what we do. We won't leave here until we find this boy. I need you to be, if you think of anything you need to talk to me about, and I need you to make sure you tell me, okay? If you're protecting yourself because maybe something went awry and the boy's hurt, then I need to know that kind of stuff. If you're protecting James, your boyfriend, from something he may have done accidentally, then I need to know that. I'm going to ask you to take a polygraph exam. Do you know what that is? It's a lie detector test, okay? And because there's something going on here. Something's not right here. I've done this, like I said, I've interviewed hundreds of people over my career, and, people get scared. They get themselves backed into a corner, and they don't know what to do. And my job is to help them through that, because sometimes it is what it is. Something happened, and parents freak out and, don't know what to do, okay? So my job is I'm going to go talk to James here in a few minutes, and I'm sure he's going to tell me a little bit different story, okay? Because that's what I get. That's what I find when people aren't telling me the whole truth about everything. You can help yourself out tremendously if you know anything about anything that happened, because if I prove otherwise, that you didn't tell me the whole truth, then that doesn't look good for you. Okay, that's not going to be good. If you're forthcoming with me now, I can deal with whatever happened. I can deal with whatever, and we can go through that together. Okay? But I need you to be honest with me about everything, because I'm going to find what happened. I'm good at my job, and I'm going to find what happened to this little boy. So, is anything else? Before I walk out of here, this is your opportunity to be 100% straight with me. I suspect James, or I got mad at the boy last night, and I spanked him and he took off out the door, or just anything weird is fine to tell me. You're not going to tell me anything that's going to surprise me. Okay?
No. I mean...
Did you hurt your baby?
No.
Now, do you know...
I love my kids. I would never.
Okay. Do you know who hurt your baby?
No.
Do you know your baby's whereabouts right now? Okay. Do you suspect James is doing anything to your baby?
No.
Okay. You're 100% sure on that one?
Yeah, he loves him like I already do.
Okay. All right. Just hang tight. You want something to drink?
No, I need to use the bathroom. I ain't been able to use the bathroom.
You can do that. I'll let you do that. You want water, or Coke, or Mountain Dew, anything to drink? Because I'm thirsty. That's why I'm asking.
I'm more worried about trying to find my baby.
Okay. All right. Then hang tight for a few more minutes, okay? I got a polygraph guy coming in. Okay, and he's going to ask you the same questions pretty much that I asked you. Okay. If you know the whereabouts of your baby, or if you know what happened to James, okay?
Hoover tells her almost nothing. He says he'll talk to James in a few minutes and lets her imagination do the interrogating. Hi? It's me. Not to disrupt your flow, just a quick heads up. That polygraph examiner never gets to ask a single question. And the second half of this video shows why. If you're new here, a like and a subscribe genuinely help. And for those who have been with me from episode 1, thanks for sticking around.
Before you go through that process, again, I'm going to ask one more time. Is there anything you need to tell me before I walk out of this room? Because I feel like there is. I feel like there's something you're holding back from me.
No, like, I can't remember exactly what time he woke me up.
No, I'm not worried about that. I understand that.
Or what time he was up, or what time.
Well, I'm a little confused that the baby's been missing since 4:30-ish, we'll say. Okay? And we don't get the call till after 10 a.m. That's peculiar to me. You understand why? Do you see that?
Because it's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours. You're missing a 6-year-old or first grader, and the police aren't called. So obviously that draws suspicion. Okay? Right.
The examiner is still on the road. Hoover comes back in early with something the children have been telling the detectives down the hall.
Did the 6-year-old get in trouble last night? You remember?
Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he got in trouble for something. I remember what it was.
You don't remember what it was? Okay. What was the punishment last night?
Corner.
Corner?
I don't really like putting my hands on my kids.
That's okay. That's fine. Some people don't. I didn't have a problem with it. So, and I didn't, spank on the butt is what I'm talking about, of course. But, the kid said something about, you guys, what'd you have for dinner last night?
They had pizza rolls and chips.
The kids did? Okay. They're telling me that James had gotten in trouble for something, and that he wasn't given pizza rolls, but he was given bread instead, because that was his punishment. Do you remember that?
No, we gave them, like, lunch meat sandwiches at lunchtime.
And then all 3 of them, you're saying, got pizza rolls last night? Why would the kids tell me that? It's my experience that the most truth you're going to get out of anybody is from a child. And both I got a 6 and a 7 and an 8, 9-year-old or 8-year-old almost, or 9-year-old almost, that is telling me that he got in trouble, so he wasn't allowed to have. He had to miss dinner, been given bread and something to drink instead. Why would they tell me that?
I have no idea. They had bread. They had bread for lunch.
Okay.
I don't know if they kind of got lunch and dinner confused.
Okay. Was he punished by not giving any type of food at some point yesterday? Maybe not dinner, but maybe lunch. Maybe that's what they're getting confused. But they had lunch meat sandwiches, you're saying, at noon, at lunch.
Yeah. I would never make them go without any meal.
I know that.
I'd rather go without before them.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out what they're talking about, what the kids are talking about.
I have no idea.
This morning, her account was 2 sentences long. The kids went to bed at 9, and at 4:30, James wasn't in his bed. It now has a shadow in it.
I'm talking to James, and he's telling us he's coming around. So this is the deal. Are you reading right? Can you read?
I can read some words out, or some words like it's like big words I can't understand.
Okay. I'm going to read this to you. What you don't understand, I'll explain it to you. Does that sound good? It says, warning, I am a police officer. I want you to have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to consult with a lawyer before and during any questioning and have lawyer present while you're being questioned, that if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you free before any questioning, and you can stop talking to me or any other police officer at any time during questioning. Do you understand that? Meaning that I'm not forcing you to talk to me. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with your baby. Okay? Flip that card over. Do you understand that? Okay.
Sorry, I've just never been through
No,
one of
that's
that
all right.
before.
I need you to print your name right here saying you understand that, and then the date and time.
You said print?
Yeah.
Are the kids okay?
Yeah, we're out there eating food. Junk food, sorry. That's all we got here.
Hey, it's something, huh?
Yep. Today is February 28th.
Do I write February or just FEB?
2/28 is fine. Of 21. And the time is 1:11 p.m.
PM?
Yes. Thank you. All right, so James is telling a little different story. All right, so this is what I need to know. In the middle of the night last night, okay, you went upstairs and you picked James up out of his room, and you went downstairs where your boyfriend was at. Tell me, and I'm not going to go into everything James has told me, okay, because I'm still looking for you to be honest with me, okay? Tell me about that. Tell me what happened after you picked him up out of the room and went downstairs.
I don't remember picking him up, taking him downstairs.
You don't remember anything about picking him up, taking him downstairs in the middle of the night? James is pushing this off on you. Okay, I'm going to be real upfront with you about this at this point. Okay, so you need to be very smart, and honesty goes a long, long way with me, and if there's any criminal charges in the future, honesty goes a long way. Okay? I'm getting a story that is totally different than what you've told me, and I don't know why James is telling me that, but that's what he's telling me. Okay, that's part of what he's telling me. Okay, he's wanting more detail than that. Okay, but I'm not going to share that with you. I need to know what happened last night with your boy, your 6-year-old. Or this morning, early this morning. In the middle of the night. Whatever.
I know he said that he had a nightmare.
The 6-year-old?
Yeah, but I didn't carry him downstairs or anything.
Okay, who carried him down the steps?
He walked down the steps.
He walked down the steps in the middle of the night? About what time was that?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't pay attention to the time.
But it was in the middle of the night?
Yeah, I was more worried about what was wrong with him.
What does that mean?
Like, what?
Why he was downstairs?
Why was he downstairs? Why was he awake? What was bothering him? Did he feel sick? Or he had to use the bathroom?
Okay, so he's downstairs, and what does he say to you?
Me had a nightmare.
Okay, in those words? Okay. So, me had a nightmare. What did you do? What was the next thing you did?
Just try to sit there and...
Where did he come to? The living room?
No, he went in there and woke me up.
In the bed?
Yeah.
And was James in bed with you at the time?
Yeah.
And then, what happened?
He come in there and said, Mommy. I don't know how many times he probably said my name. I'm a deep sleeper.
Okay.
But I was rolling over and I heard, Mommy, Mommy. At first I thought I was just hearing things, and then something told me, like, maybe I'm not hearing things. So I opened my eyes and he said, Mommy, we had a nightmare. Or, Mommy, we see a shadow. I was like, what shadow?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't know, they're white. I was
Okay.
like, he's like, do you know what it is? I said, I don't know. And then he said he couldn't really sleep. Couldn't tell me what he was dreaming about. Or his nightmare was. Just he was scared.
So how long have you been asleep before you think he woke you up, roughly? If you could guess.
I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 hours.
Okay. So if you,
Because, I mean, once I go to bed, I go to bed at 10. Once I go to bed, I'm out.
Right. So why didn't you tell me all this prior to, before when we were talking? Why didn't you tell me all this story before? Because I just asked you if you remember going upstairs originally when I came in, because that's what I'm being told. And you didn't remember any of that. Now all of a sudden you're remembering detail about him being
I have
scared.
a bad problem with memory issues. I couldn't tell you about, I can't remember day to day.
Okay. You're still not lying. You're lying to me about some stuff. So, did you grow up in church or anything, in the faith? Christian faith?
I remember when I was a little kid that my grandma used to take me to church all the time.
Right. Well, I suspect something accidentally happened, okay, because you are all over the place with your stories, okay? For whatever reason, you're scared and you're not telling me the whole truth, okay? And I understand you being scared. I know you don't know me, okay, but I'm the most honest person that you're ever going to talk to, okay? I'm telling you, it's in your best interest to tell me the entire truth, okay? Or you're going to be in a world of hurt. I'm telling you. No matter what happened. No matter what happened. By telling me the truth goes a long way. It's going to go a long, long way in this process, okay? I know that something either accidental or something happened to James, or you wouldn't be all over the place like this. I've done this a long time, okay? This is all I've done for 27 years, okay, is talk to people. You have to tell me what's going on and what happened, okay, at this point, because James, your boyfriend, is telling a different story than what you're telling. Okay, you're deflecting, you are minimizing stuff, meaning that, you're just not telling me the whole truth. Well, he's breaking down. Okay, he's telling me the whole truth. Okay, so you can sit here and keep lying to me. I can't make you tell me the truth. You know that. You're going to have to take a deep breath and tell me what happened and what's going on here. Because something happened. Okay, there's nothing you're going to tell me that I've not heard a million times over my career, okay? But I need to know the truth, because believe it or not, I know it's an old cliche, the truth is what helps people. The truth is what sets people free, okay? You don't want to live with what's going on here, okay? You want to tell me the truth. Most people finally tell me, okay, this is what's going on, okay? That's your choice, huh? Okay, but you know what happened. You know what happened. Only you know, and James knows, but only you're going to be able to get out in front of this the best you can. Okay? I have to see some remorse. Okay?
What is remorse?
Well, I have to see that, okay, I've not been telling you the whole truth. I'm sorry. Remorse means I'm sorry. Okay? So you understand what I'm saying? This is what happened, and this is the truth. Okay? A 6-year-old just doesn't get up and walk out the door. Okay? There's more to the story than what you're telling me. Okay, I've talked to James. My partner's talked to James extensively, and James is coming off of this slowly. I would suggest for you, just tell me the truth now. He may have told you more now. I don't know. I've been in here with you. Okay, but James he took a deep breath, and I suggest that to you. Take a drink of your pop, take a deep breath, and just tell me what's going on here. Okay, stuff happens in life. There's no perfect parent. There's no perfect person. I got very pissed off at my kids many, many times over my lifetime and been aggravated with them to the point where, I could literally choke them out.
I get aggravated with them a lot, but I wouldn't.
Okay, tell me what's going on with the baby. Tell me the truth this time, the entire truth.
Sorry, my anxiety's
I understand that.
off the chart.
I understand that. Okay? And maybe something did happen that you didn't mean for it to happen. But I need to know that. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get out of you. Okay? I talk to parents every day. They do stuff that I understand. Okay? You had a moment of fury. I've been furious with my children before.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Same as me.
Okay? And now mine are adults, 2 married, 1 engaged, but they're adults now. But there was many times that I lost my temper with them severely. Okay? And stuff that I regret doing. Okay, we all have regrets. There ain't nobody in this building that doesn't have regrets and stuff that they made mistakes. There's nobody perfect here. But I need you to tell me what's going on with your boy. And tell me what happened truthfully. Okay? So, you just took a drink of your pop. Tell me what's going on.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my
You're good.
anxiety to calm down.
Just take a deep breath and just tell me what happened.
Okay. Okay, the kids wasn't listening. Well, kids don't listen. You've probably been there a lot. Well, kids wasn't listening. I try my best. I don't like yelling and screaming at my kids. Because I feel like if you're yelling and screaming at them, they don't want to listen.
Okay.
They're more scared of you yelling and screaming at them than wanting to listen to what you're trying to tell them.
Right.
But anyways, we took the kids. I'm sure you did too. But we take kids as like the toys, take them away, put them up until they start coming back as being behaved. They also have a lot of times lying about, I didn't pee myself and stuff like that. The one that's out there, the boy, the son, he likes peeing on himself and kind of, I'm sorry, Mom, but yes, I did. Like 20 minutes later, like, why wasn't you telling me then? But anyways, they wasn't listening. And he thought that James thought I wasn't making him listen.
Right.
Because he's normally at work nonstop. But he thinks they hate him because they don't really listen to him well. Sometimes they don't even listen to me, but they're kids.
Sure.
But
we can get into all this, okay? Tell me what happened.
James told me to get rid of the kids.
Okay.
And so I took them for a drive to make them think I want to get rid of them, but I'm not going to get rid of my kids for anybody on this planet. And he told me to get rid of them because they were not listening. He was tired of putting up with it. And I kept telling him, like, I'm not going to get rid of my kids. Like, I can take them, give you a break, and for me and them for a little while, take them for a drive, whatever, but I'm not getting rid of them. They're my kids. I will not do that.
Okay.
And I said, if I wanted to do that, I would have gave them up a long time ago. But he kept telling me, either get these kids under control or get rid of them or do something with them. So I tried asking family members to...
So what happened last night? Let's fast forward to that. We
went for a drive. I don't know what road it was.
Okay.
It was just, we were just driving around. Well, the kids were going to the bathroom. I had pulled over to this, a little booth.
In Middletown?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little stall or something.
Mm-hmm.
A bathroom. I pulled over to the bathroom and let them all use the bathroom. While it was raining and stuff, I left the door unlocked in the van.
Mm-hmm.
And told them, we'll all go in here, not all of us at once, but each one of us go in here, one at a time, use the bathroom. So we went in the bathroom. Well, I couldn't go in there, but when I went to go in the bathroom, I told them to go ahead and just get in the van.
Mm-hmm.
Well, James had slipped and fell because his shoes were wet, slippery, and he had hit his head.
Mm-hmm.
And
did it kill him? Is that what you're telling me? Did the fall hurt him?
well, I asked him if he was okay, he wouldn't answer me. So I noticed he was breathing kind of heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe that's not normal. I've never seen him blurry like that before. Well, he was breathing, I don't know how long he was breathing for, but he had fell and busted his head on the side of the van.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to get in there. And he was breathing heavy for a couple minutes, and then I tried to do CPR, I couldn't get him.
So he stopped breathing. And where's his body at? You're doing good, okay? Just tell me where his body's at, because I gotta go find him. For you, okay? This is called closure now, okay? Where's his body at? Would you take it back home with you?
No, I left it.
You left it? So who's all in the car with you?
All of us.
James, you?
Yes, we always know
Then the
that
three
go
children.
out as a family.
So all five of you?
Yes.
All right. And what park was this, or where was this at in Middletown? Because it would make sense to put, to me,
It was.
did you put him in a dumpster? Did you just let him lay right there? Was he buried? I mean, that's what I need to know.
I didn't do nothing with him. I just let them lay in the parking lot because it was a plain parking lot. There was, I believe, like water over here or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one little stall, and I left him just lay on the ground.
Okay. Did James do anything with him? Your boyfriend? I mean, it doesn't make sense just to lay him right there on the ground. So
well, I left him laying in there on the ground because I was going to call the ambulance, but I was scared, shook up, didn't know what to do. Okay. So
now we need to figure out where this is at.
Well, the little boy was laying on the ground. I went to the bathroom, told him to try real quick, because I couldn't hold myself.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, you try real quick to give him CPR.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to the bathroom, I came out, he was gone.
Okay. What did the other two children say about all this?
Well, they were in the back seat, so they couldn't.
Okay. I'm going to give you a break here for a second, okay? Take it, relax, okay? I'm going to go out and talk to James real quick and see if we can't figure out where this is at, okay?
She is the last person in this building to find out what you already know. Hamilton has been talking for 2 hours.
All right. So, James has told me that body was dumped off the bridge, okay? That you guys went together to do that this morning, okay? Is it the Ohio River? Is that what we're talking about, or where?
It's between Indiana and Kentucky.
Between Indiana and Kentucky?
I don't really know my ways about.
Okay. Was the body wrapped in anything? Or did you just have clothes on him, or what?
He had clothes on.
Okay.
Do you know what he was wearing?
His red jacket, it's like a camo red jacket. Black and white shoes.
Reds? Cincinnati Reds?
No, it's just like a plain camo red jacket.
Okay.
Brown, you know, the brown school pants?
Oh, yeah, tan khakis.
Yes. A pair of those, and, it was a black and red shirt. I don't remember what was, it was a long sleeve. I don't remember
Was
what
it
it was. I can't remember exactly what was on the shirt. I just know that's what he had on.
Sure. He had his glasses on? Or did you have his glasses? Where are those?
No, but he has his glasses.
So whenever he went in the water, he had his glasses?
He wears them every day.
Okay.
He's blind.
And you made sure he had them on whenever he...
Right. Now, James tells us a little bit more detail, okay, so I'm going to get into some of that with you now, okay? And you're starting to come around with honesty, and I need that. That's what's going to help you, okay, and help us find him. So, one of the differences is James says that he wasn't with you up at the park when all this happened. Is that true or not?
I don't know if it was a park. It was an empty parking lot.
Is it an empty parking lot?
Was it near any water, near a lake?
There was water here. I don't know what it was.
See any boat docks, any boats in the water?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
And then there's like woods off to it.
If I pulled it up on a map, would you be able to look at it or no? Was there a...
It was, I'm trying to remember the park. Something Run.
Rush Run?
Yeah.
Was it Rush Run?
Yeah.
And you were near the water?
Yeah, it said it was Rush Run Park, but I seen water, so it had to have been a lake, or I don't know what it was.
Now, James goes into a little bit more detail what happened to him, what happened to your son. Okay. First off, was James with you when all this happened? Your boyfriend? He was not.
The three kids.
The three kids and you.
Yeah, he told me to go somewhere.
To do what?
To get rid of kids.
To get rid of the kids. Okay. So, the truth now is, he didn't just slip and bang his head. Okay? Because you've done really good up till now. I need to know precisely how he died, how he passed away. So, I know this is a hard part for you. Okay? And I know that you're a mom, and, you know, I know you have feelings for James, but you're a mom, and you love your children. Okay? And I'm sure it was one of the hardest things I know it was the hardest thing you've done to one of your children.
I've never separated my kids, ever.
I know. And you went down a wrong path here, and you know that now. Okay? Specifically, though.
He was not with me.
Okay.
It was just me and the three kids, because he said he needed a break, or I need to do something with the kids.
Okay. And you were tired of hearing him, or what?
I was tired of listening to it.
Okay.
So I just got up, grabbed my kids, because that's what I think of first, is to grab my kids and go. And he told me I can drive the van.
Okay.
Or whatever.
So he told you to take the van.
Yeah, he told me whatever I wanted to drive, I could take it.
Right.
Because I had my license. So I took the van and was going to the lake, park, whatever it is.
Have you ever been there before? What made you go there? Because it's kind of out of the way.
He has a friend, well, he used to, he no longer does since life and whatever got in an argument. He has a friend named that lives somewhere out there. I don't know exactly where. Because every time we went down there, that's where he drove. I don't know nothing. I'm a new driver.
I think you were kind of familiar with that area from being up at their house?
Yes, kind of not. I remember him stopping once to let one of the kids use the bathroom in his porta potty thing.
Yes.
And so that's why I stopped, because they was like, I gotta pee. And that's the only place I knew around there. that I knew for a fact had a little
Had a
bathroom.
porta potty where,
Because there was no gas station, I couldn't remember no gas stations nearby, and I didn't want them to pee all over.
sure,
So I stopped at the porta potter, let each kid use the bathroom. So James went to go get in the van. Well, James didn't want to get out of the van.
Right.
I'm talking about the kid.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get out of the van. And he was forcing me, like, you gotta get rid of this fucking kid, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, why should I have to get rid of my kids? Why can't you just go?
Sure. So he wouldn't get out of the van, and what happened?
And I told him, because he had to use the bathroom too, told him I wasn't going to leave him. Well, I was thinking about leaving him, so I kind of like pulled off a little bit, and James fell kind of down on his knees, got back, went to go get back up, and then just dropped.
Did you hit him with the van then?
No, I didn't hit him with no van.
Okay.
I didn't run him over, I didn't do none of that.
Okay. So he hits the van.
He had the van door slides open. So he had a handle of the van.
so the door is open?
No, they slide back.
Right.
It's a minivan.
Right.
They slide back. He had the handle of the van, the back door van, on the driver's side. And when I went to go kind of pull off, he didn't have the handle in his hand. It was kind of just like standing there. Not close to the van, but just kind of standing there, holding the van door, trying to get back in. Well, that door is messed up.
Right.
And I don't want to unlock it, don't want to lock. So, I went to go pull off, and James, as I was saying, he fell, tried to get back up, and he fell and hit his head on the ground.
And you were in the parking lot there?
Yes. I'm going to explain it more. If you go in the driveway, I don't remember how to get there.
If we took you up that way, could you show us where?
Where he was at?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a little, not a big glob of blood, but there's like this much blood. Or maybe might be even more, where his head had hit the concrete. And I rolled him over, kind of try to help him back, see if I can get him to come back. Well...
Did you know he was dead pretty soon, though?
At first, he was still breathing, like I said. He took a couple, like...
Where was he bleeding from?
Right here on the... Right here on his head, like he went to fall down.
Was he breathing out of his ears or his mouth? And if you don't remember...
He didn't have his mouth open.
Okay.
I know he had his eyes kind of like... You know how you kind of like sleep with your eyes open, like a tiny bit?
Right.
That's how he had his eyes.
Okay.
So he was like responding, but I guess couldn't talk.
Sure.
But he was breathing heavy. I don't know how many, I couldn't tell you how many breathing fast he was. But when I was with him, he was breathing still. And I was doing my CPR that I've learned how to do and try to bring him back. And I couldn't. So I did it for like 5 minutes, and I knew after 5 minutes there was no getting him back.
So what did you do then?
I drove home.
You picked him up, put him in the van?
Yes.
Okay.
He thought I just threw. I can't do that to my kid.
Sure.
I don't want to just throw him in there.
Right.
Well, the other
I've never seen a dead body before or know how it looks, feels, nothing. So I just kind of like a baby, pick him up, his head and his legs, and sit him in have you been in the van yet?
I mean, I've seen it.
Well, it has the back seat.
Right.
And you got that empty spot right here, and then those 2 front seats. Well, I had laid him nicely, softly. I didn't just throw him in there, because that's just disrespectful.
Right.
And that's my blood child.
Right. you put him on the ground, you get back in the car, and then he walks around the front of your car or the back of your car?
My car was like this, and the bathroom's literally right here.
Sure, okay.
So he just like walks to the door.
So you pulled in, and you're facing the woods.
No, it's the water.
Okay.
The woods is here, the water's here.
All right.
And then there's the road to out that way.
This is... All right, I just had it. Where the hell's that? Here we go.
It's called Russian Run Lake, I think.
Yep. Go there all the time. So right here, here's the water. Here's the road that you came in on. Okay?
Okay, where did you say the water was again?
Right here. That's water.
Okay.
So there's usually the porta potties right there. Does that look familiar?
Yeah, kind of does. And then is there like a driveway going this way?
Yes, it actually goes this way.
So I was parked at the parking spot. They were there.
So did you pull into a spot?
It was like down this way, like those lines were kind of faded.
Yeah, so you parked kind of down this way.
It was close to the bathroom, but not close enough.
So you were actually nosed in. You were pointing towards the water. So you got two kids over here, and then you've got James milling about. Let's say that's you right there.
Okay.
And you got James milling about over here, right? Is that right?
Yes.
So where was James whenever you backed up and pulled out? Little James.
Well, I wasn't all the way into the parking spot. I was just like halfway there, not all the way there. I went to I didn't even have to back up. I just went to go this way.
So you just went to loop around and pull? Okay.
And he didn't have a handle when I looked out my mirror. When I went to go pull away, I'm guessing he had the handle.
Right.
And then I went to go drive off, and he, of course, had a handle. When I looked, he didn't have it. And then he was...
So, real quick, so here's the porta potty, there's the water, here's the road coming in. Let's say, so you're parked kind of like that. Okay?
Yeah, with my headlights this way.
Towards the water. So you got
looking all the way in the parking lot.
Sure, so you got a little bit of room there.
Yeah.
So show me where James was whenever you put it in the drive.
He was like right off the here, like he's tall enough he can reach over and grab the handle. But
he wasn't touching the handle.
No.
So then, which way did you pull out?
I just went like this.
Okay.
Because there was plenty enough room to do.
Sure. So you pulled forward, looped around to the left. The other kids are where?
By the stall.
They're over by the big porta potty.
Yes.
And then, at what point did you see James on the ground?
I want to say when I went to, I heard kids screaming. I don't remember. I thought it was for sure. They both could have been screaming. I don't know.
Why were they screaming? Because you were leaving them?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they knew I wasn't never just going.
Sure.
So, they were standing by the bathroom stall, whatever it is, and James was kind of standing close to them, but not that close. Sure. And as I showed you on the paper, I just went around him and didn't realize he had the handle.
Did you see him grabbing a handle?
No.
Okay, you're just.
But when I kind of like, I'm assuming he grabbed the handle because I kind of pulled him a little bit, not much, and he got up and then fell back down. I guess I kind of probably made him hurt his knee on the ground or something, and he lost his balance, and he tried to catch his balance. He didn't get to, and he fell and busted his head on the ground.
6 years old, he was trying to get back into the van.
Okay, by text or by call?
It was a text.
You sent him a text?
Yes, and then he called me, told me to bring him back because he couldn't get James to listen.
The river James was given to is at flood stage within days. Divers cannot enter until March 10th. On March 17th, sonar and a cadaver dog flagged the same stretch of water, and the county prosecutor announces a high degree of probability that a body has been located. It has not been recovered. James Hutchinson has never come home. On March 5, 2021, a grand jury returns a 31-count indictment against the two of them. By late August, both have pled guilty, Brittany on August 16th, Hamilton 1 week later. September 13th, 2021. At sentencing, the judge asks Brittany twice if she has anything to say. She stands mute. She was sentenced to life, with her first chance of parole in 21 years. Hamilton on October 5th gets 15 to 19. The judge reaches for one word for what was done to James. Incomprehensible.
Her search and recovery team have scoured the river and riverbanks ever since Middletown police said Gosney admitted to throwing him in there. There have been multiple searches, but efforts have been unsuccessful.
It seemed like everything was working against us. You know, when the incident first happened, we had all of the issues with the weather and the rain. And
they want nothing more than to find James. Campbell says due to lack of evidence.
What is your plea?
Guilty.
Proceeding then to the charge in count 14 that being a
The record in State of Ohio versus Brittany Gosney. Case number CR 21030273. Defendant is present in the courtroom along with her attorney, David Washington.
After discussing potential resolutions and outcomes and having conversations with the prosecutor, it was agreed that we would enter this plea. Therefore, we will withdraw that motion to suppress.
You intend to enter guilty pleas to this charge of murder and unclassified felony charge and 2 counts of endangering children, each of which are third-degree felonies.
Yes.
Ms. Gosney, that in the prison term of years to life on the murder charges, I could also impose a prison sentence on you with respect to each of the charges in count 14 and 15 so that I can make a more intelligent and informed decision about whether you had a full and fair opportunity to discuss the nature of the charges lodged against you in the indictment, Ms. Mack, that you might have to linear all of those charges with your attorney, Mr. Confrontation. You understand that, right?
Yes.
And finally, Ms. Gosney, you understand if you had a trial, you also have the opportunity.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Rosa.
Coerced her into getting rid of the children.
I don't believe that. She never wanted them kids in the beginning. She really didn't.
It's not all him. He's not a monster. He's really a good guy. He did mess up. He's paying the price.
After the hearing, the prosecutor took exception to that assertion.
The monster named Hamilton, who did monstrous things to little Jimmy. And when he threw his body in the Ohio River, that is the act of a calculated monster.
At Rosa Parks Elementary, there is a bench now. It says, "In memory of James Hutchinson, a little boy who loved his school, his teachers, and his friends. The boy who hugged his teachers at the door never got a goodbye. His classmates gave him one anyway." Hey, thanks for watching. Did you know that 99.4% of people who watch my videos don't subscribe? Now, I understand it's a new channel and maybe I'm probably doing some things wrong. I would really appreciate it if you could give your candid feedback in the comments. Please do subscribe too. May James rest in peace, and may those who truly loved him find some comfort that his memory lives on in the hearts of those who knew him, and even we strangers that tell and listen to his story today. Stay safe. See you in episode 4.